I'm gonna pop it open.
Gonna pop it open.
Hello. Every Rush song.
Hello, fellow Rush fan, and welcome to the greatest podcast ever recorded in Tim's backyard. If you don't count Beer Thursday, just kidding. Thank you for joining us on this journey as we all together, the three of us, my two friends here, and you, go through and discuss every Rush song. But today, we have some business to take care of, and we're glad that you're here to listen in on our little discussion. We're going to try to decide which album we're going to cover first.
Would you say we're sort of pulling the curtain back on how this?
Yeah,
Wow.
we're going very Radney Foster. No, not Radney Foster. Very Wizard of Oz. Who is that? What's the behind the scenes? BTS.
Yes.
BTS. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the horn. I don't know why they call it a horn. It's kind of an upside down triangle in Zoom.
Yeah.
And then each nominate an album. We'll each nominate two, and then see if we have perhaps a unanimous one, or if we just get to fight it out.
You know, exactly. And I kind of somehow I think there might be one common album among at least two of us.
Maybe.
But somehow I think that might not be also the case as well.
You know what? I think that it could go either way. It could go both ways, or it might not go anyway.
It's 50 cents of one, half a dozen of the other. You know, who knows?
You're blind in one eye. You can't hear out of the other.
Exactly.
I can't feel my legs.
I'm claustrophobic.
They feel fine to me.
Let me out of here. What?
Nothing.
That's not a pillow. All right, Jay.
Yep.
Do you have an album that you would like to be our first? And then because when we commit to this album, we got to do every song on that album, like all 8 of them, unless it's one of their later CDs, and it's 15 or 20 of them.
I do. As a matter of fact, from an album made in America.
Ooh.
No, yes, I do. Because one of the songs we were going to discuss, or maybe we already have, depending on when this episode airs.
I should see the order that I'm thinking.
The song "Free Will," and I thought, well, speaking of free will, I think I would like to discuss the 1980 album "Permanent Waves." There's a couple reasons I want to discuss this album. One, there's a pretty cute girl there with her dress is kind of flying up a little bit. It's kind of sexy. But also it's got some great tunes. I mean, Spirit of Radio, Free Will, Jacob's Ladder,
Entre Nos,
Different Strings, Natural Science.
Yeah, Natural Science.
I listened to the album.
Know all the tracks.
I listened to the album this week. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to take your advice, Tim, from a previous episode. I want to listen to this with earbuds or headphones and just sit back and kind of take it all in. That's what she said.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you need to do.
All right, Jay. Wrong, but nice suggestion.
Wow.
Just kidding. There's a vote for Permanent Waves. Tim. Okay, fine. Don't answer. I think that we should do.
I am so sick and tired of y'all treating me like the ugly step-headed child.
Step-headed child.
I don't think you're ugly at all, Tim.
And you're certainly not step-headed.
Exactly. You're definitely not step-headed.
I think I am step-headed. I am step-headed. Extremely step-headed. My album that I would nominate is, I want to say it's pretty kick butt. It's called Vapor Trails.
Vapor Trails.
Oh boy, here we go again.
On with the Vapor Trails, boy. Look.
This is not going how I hoped it would.
And they came back. You know, they were gone for like 4 or 5 years, man. And they get back together, and
They
Alex
bombed.
said,
Took a big turd in the bed right there.
You push a single note on that keyboard, I'm going to kick you right in your Canadian testicles. And Eddie said,
Sounds like
okay.
something he would say.
And they went and just said, 3-piece band, baby. That's the way it was in the beginning. Let's go. And that's what they did. Well, 3-piece band, we're going to just forget about all the extra guitar overdubbing, and, you got electric guitar going, you got acoustic guitar going. A 3-piece band cannot do all that stuff. But anyways, you know what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think I've given Vapor Trails enough of a chance. And I also, by the way, have you heard there's like a 2013 remix of Vapor Trails?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just is anything different, or is it just a
I listen to a lot of remastered and remixed stuff, and I don't always. Number one, I'm deaf. I'm a drummer. Okay. I don't know if I always pick up on it. So I don't know. I don't know if I hear a difference or not.
okay?
Okay.
All right, Vapor Trails. All
Vapor
right,
Trails.
that's a good. That's a good one. I mean, I assume
Also
you like
wrong, but nice
yeah.
suggestion.
Too bad you're wrong.
Too bad you're wrong. I wish you
Well,
could have
speaking of wrong,
I wish you had done better.
Speaking of wrong, I think it's
Oh.
Shayne's turn to nominate an album. Shayne, what do you have?
I would like to nominate
Boring.
Power Windows. and it's a pretty simple reason. It's just because on a lot of rankings, I see it ranking pretty high on various sites that nominate that all the Rush albums ranked best to worst. And then in a lot of the groups I'm in, people talk about albums that they appreciate or like or favorite albums. And I hear Power Windows mentioned a lot more than I would expect or that I would rank it. And I would like to give Power Windows that chance.
Well, that's very sweet.
Am I right? Did I get it right?
No, you're wrong.
Oh,
you're
damn it.
Actually,
absolutely wrong.
Well, I'm gonna hold my judgment there on that one. I don't know. I'm gonna withhold my judgment. I will say this though. That was the first Rush tour I saw was Power Windows. And
likewise, I'm sure. I mean,
and I remember it came out when we were in high school,
just young
85.
Young little tykes wanting to go to our first rock concert.
That's right,
man.
But that's a good choice, Shayne. And I just want to, and it sort of relates to my choice, my second choice.
Oh, really? Wait, I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, you're going to want to write this down. My choice, my second choice is 1985's Power Windows.
Oh my goodness.
That's a great suggestion, Jay. However, you're wrong.
Well, we can't both be wrong.
I'm right, but you're wrong.
Damn it. I always get that one. I mean, miss that one. No, I love that Power Windows has a little bit of nostalgicness to it for me. Like, I listened to that album and it kind of, that album makes me time travel. It takes me back to high school. I hear,
take me back
the big money and gosh, Manhattan Project. What's this?
This album really takes them back.
Which song which song has the better beer song?
Territories,
yes.
Better beer.
Better beer. Yeah. I think it's just because he said better beer that made me really nostalgic for it.
No, the greatest thing about that
beer.
song live was seeing David Lee Roth dressed up in his Eat 'em and Smile cover outfit doing all the dancing at the beginning of Territories. Nobody remembers the village chief or whatever when they played that live. That's what. Yeah. In fact, and if I remember correctly, Shayne, the master of forgetting everything.
I don't remember anything before 2013.
Right. Exactly. So therefore, I think it was you who said that looks like David Lee Roth dressed up in his Eat 'em and Smile out.
That's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. And it is correct, but great song.
And we'll talk about the Eat 'em and Smile album on our other podcast.
Right.
DLR.
Ooh. Every David Lee Roth song.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't say that because somebody's going to steal our idea for other people.
Right. And then we'll lose out on the royalties.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's
okay.
true.
So say Power Windows for your second.
Jim's turn.
Yeah. Power Windows is my second nomination.
Tim, if you had a second vote, if you had one, what would it be?
Well, but I do. And I'm about to cast it right now.
It's gonna be Power
Windows.
Windows.
A little shocking to me.
Wait, you're shocked? You're shocked by your own choice?
Yes. Well, it's not only is it shocking to me, it is shocking to the millions upon millions of Rush fans.
Oh.
To a point.
Okay.
My second choice would be Signal. Now, why is it shocking?
I'm going to write it down, even though it's wrong.
No, but it's not. To me, that album doesn't have a throwaway song on it.
No, it doesn't.
Like Power Windows does with Emotion Detector. Which Jay didn't even know that was even on the album. Now,
Emotion Detector. Are you talking about from Power Windows? Come out in 1985.
Yeah, you're looking it up. Stop stalling. Well, I can see.
No, I mean, how would I know that?
You're reading.
I was saying that right off the top of my head. It's the 11th studio album by the Canadian rock band Rush on Anthem Records. So what?
So I Signals, and I'll do it. If I actually get a real true fall cold front come through, like where you wake up in the morning and the temperatures are in the upper 50s or lower 60s, I will put Signals on. For whatever reason, that album just makes me think of fall and cooler temperatures. I don't know if it's the keyboard section in Analog Kid. You move me with your buildings and your
spice,
autumn woods and winter skies.
Autumn woods, maybe that's why.
Autumn woods and winter skies, and the whole, the keyboard part. There's just something very fallish, and I love fall. So
Signals reminds me of summer, like if a hot and windy August afternoon had the trees in constant motion or something.
Well, it's funny.
It's your girl for all seasons.
It's funny, the song Subdivisions. I didn't really like that song.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't love that song until a few years ago, and now it's like one of my favorite songs because I actually listened to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. That's good.
Right.
Subdivisions.
There's not a throwaway song on that album, and that's my second.
So that would be the Signals album. I think it's their 9th album. Came out in 1982, I think. In September, speaking of fall. Hey, I'm not reading it. I'm looking at you while I'm saying it.
No, you are not.
And
how can I be reading it? How can I be reading it? Hey man, I'm 50, blah blah blah.
He can't even see that far.
Golly.
Well, Shayne, it's up to you.
I wish I wasn't wrong, because I did have a suggestion for my second choice of suggesting things.
I have a feeling it's going to be wrong, though.
It's interesting how all of our suggestions are kind of in that middle, sort of that third era. Would you say third? Like after?
Yeah, I mean, like, the tail end of the second.
Maybe not Vapor Trails. I guess Vapor Trails would be later. But mine was gonna be going back, way back to the year of my birth. I wish Fly By Night, which was not actually the year of my birth.
That is 1975. That's way back.
Yeah. I was gonna say Fly By Night just because
And
it's.
Tim, in case you're wondering, that's February 15th of 1975 is when the album was
Thank you
released
very
on Mercury
much.
Records.
Thank you very much, Wikipedia.
That's impossible.
You're welcome.
So it was kind of like the Halloween, the Valentine's Day present to all of the world's fans of
Rush.
but
Yes.
without John Rhodes.
And that had Vitor and the Snow Dog on that. I still
You might be
don't
right.
understand that. I need to listen to that song again.
He doesn't really sound like he's right, though.
You're not adamant about your rightness.
No. Yeah, Fly By Night to me, there's been some artists have gone through and they have re-recorded for whatever reason, their earlier material, maybe to give it that more modern sound or more of a fullness, because back then they just didn't have the money to sit all day in studio putting 48 guitar tracks down.
Yeah. I mean, back then they just knocked out an album in a week
got
or two.
It knocked out in 3 days.
Back on the road.
Fly By Night is one of those albums I wish that was, which never would do, but that would be one of those albums I wish that they would have done. So you know what? Hey, we're not really interested in writing anything for a few more months, but we're just going to go in. We know the songs, for crying out loud, and we're going to re-record them and listen to them on Spotify if you want to. Here you go. And just, especially with things that they could have done with more, maybe to Vitor and the Snow Dog, especially during.
Ooh, with keyboards?
No, I don't want to say adding keyboards, but the duel between Prince Vitor and the Snow Dog, everything going on there, the overall drum sound, if we could just give it Neil's drum sounds from Moving Pictures, and which it's not like it's a bad drum sound, it's a good drum sound.
I've heard records from that year that sounded a lot worse, and they're a lot more popular.
Yeah.
And that's what we have dead air for.
Right, exactly. So Fly By Night. I was looking up because Fly By Night and the first album was the one we were trying to decide whether we actually want to discuss or not because Neil's not on it. It was
we'll have that conversation.
But there's some good songs on that first album too. So
nobody knows. Well, I mean,
nobody's ever heard it.
Well, I'd like to have seen a Rush fan, a John Rutsey fan, listen to Fly By Night the first time and just marvel at the drum work and go, okay, I guess this new drummer is pretty good.
Look at him.
He's too busy.
Look at him. He's busy.
I will say this. I kind of like Dave Grohl's drumming on Working Man better.
See?
Don't tell anybody. Yeah. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Dave Grohl's a pretty darn good drummer. I mean, not many people know this, but he used to be the drummer for Nirvana.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you look that one up too? Because I saw you reading.
I think he used to be the drummer for the Foo Fighters too at one point.
He did. And hopefully, they'll continue somehow. And
I hope he disbands the Foo Fighters and tours with Geddy and Alex. That would be awesome. That's the only way I would be okay with the end of the Foo Fighters is if he tours with Geddy and Alex. But
Foo Rush.
It could be. I don't care what they call it. They could call it Shit Sorry, and it would be.
It could be the Rush Fighters, the Foo, the Rush Foo, the
The
Foo
Fighters
Rush,
Rush.
Rue.
the Fighters, the Rush of the 20th century Rush. No, that's what they had to call.
Rue Fuchers.
Yes. Oh my God, how great would that be?
All right, so I wasn't expecting to have 2 votes for anything. Does that mean that we have to do Power Windows?
I think it does. I think it does.
Or
Yeah.
should we round table this?
Now, here's what I think we should do.
I think. Look, I think no. I think the only round table would have been if somehow we had 2 votes for choice 1 and choice 2.
Right.
But we didn't.
Yeah.
We
because
ended up with.
May I make a suggestion?
Nah.
So both y'all are wrong.
I think, and this is just my suggestion, and I could be wrong here. But I think that, since we have 2 that voted on Rush Power Windows, we should do Power Windows as the first album. But then the next 4 should be from one of the 4 that the ones that were nominated. We should keep it. We should do it like that. Because I mean, one of those could have been the first.
And yeah,
look, I'm just hoping Shayne's going to keep track of which albums we done.
I've already
don't accidentally.
I'll map it out. Don't
worry.
Yeah.
100 tracks later.
Have we done this one?
Back. All right, we're doing Power Windows.
Well, you know what? I think it's very I fully expect that we'll do Farewell to Kings and Witch Hunt, and I think we'll do them again when we go through the albums.
Well, yeah, but maybe just briefly, unless we get some kind of new scientific facts about Witch Hunt.
Well, and I think we'll start
picking up.
I think new technologies in Witch Hunt.
Right.
I think we'll pick up on different things because there's a lot of musical things that we didn't cover in like in Farewell to Kings and in Witch Hunt that I had in notes that we didn't get to.
Yeah.
I mean, we might like break it down and do especially a song, like any song on Moving Pictures, like do a whole episode just on the drums or just on the bass or just on the music or something, because that's deep stuff. That's deep.
So here's a question to pose as this behind the scenes discussion is happening. So we're talking about our favorite. We're talking about all the studio albums. Are we gonna by chance include any of the other albums, like live albums? For example, one of my favorite Rush albums is Exit Stage Left.
Exit Stage Left, even. Well, and similarly,
got the definitive YYZ on it,
Similarly to how we used up an episode on discussing which album we're going to discuss next, I had in my little devious book of plans to just have it an episode on whether or not we're going to do the first album because Neil's not on it, and are we going to also do live albums?
Ooh, so I let the cat out of the Tupperware. Sorry about that.
No, just put the cat. I mean, you can let it breathe a little bit. It's okay. We like it.
I'll leave the lid kind of.
Oh, wait, but put it back in. Put it back in. And another thing we might, because here's the deal, because I have the timeline on here, and speaking of behind the scenes, we're recording this in mid-September with the show launching sometime in late October. So according to my notes, it's gonna be maybe late December or January before we get to Power Windows, which seems like a long time as we're recording this, but as these are coming out, it won't seem as long.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of time there too to throw out to social media and let listeners vote on, hey, what do you want us to do?
Yes.
As long as their answer is permanent waves, vapor trails, and signals.
Exactly. Or Fly By Night.
Well, it was funny because I did almost, instead of Power Windows was my first choice, but I was deciding between Fly By Night, Permanent Waves, and Signals.
Okay. So we should make Signals the second album we discussed.
No, Signals, according to Tim, it's the third best album.
No. The first best album is
I changed Tim's rankings for him. It's Moving Pictures, Vapor Trails, and then the rest of them.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I changed Tim's rankings. So you're welcome. That's what friends are
Oh,
for.
sorry.
That's what I do. That's what. Oh, I just saw the ghost. Did y'all see that? Click rewind. I just saw the ghost in Jay's mirror. I'm not kidding.
Oh no, that was a dog.
Oh,
That was a dog.
Oh, hey, Dave. Dave
Yeah.
Grohl, ladies and gentlemen. There he is.
Dave Grohl.
Grohl.
Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl.
All right. Well, there you have it. Our good and kind and very special Rush fan. You can expect analysis of every Rush song on Permanent Waves. I'm pretty sure Permanent Waves only has Rush songs on it, right?
I'm betting you're right.
You know, sometimes that's a problem.
No, I
with
think
having
they
a
covered a
script.
couple of Archie songs.
Archie's.
Archie Bunker.
Any
Yes.
Max Webster on there? Ooh, we're gonna do.
Oh, we're
Are
gonna
we
have
gonna
to cover
my?
that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that or my favorite headache. I don't know. We'll have to let the fans decide.
Yeah.
Well,
You know.
well, you got to subscribe so that you hear all these discussions about every Rush song, and you got to tell your friends about it so that you can talk about with your friends what we talked about. And yeah, thanks for spending this. I didn't time it. I don't know how long it was, but thanks for spending it with us.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very kindly. We love you so much. We hope to see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.